World leaders, of course, will be descending on London to attend the Queen's State funeral that happens on Monday. Unsurprisingly, the Russian President Vladimir Putin will not be among them. Extraordinary now to recall that Stalin was in power when Elizabeth II ascended the throne. But in Moscow today, Putin is under growing pressure as Ukraine regains more and more territory in a lightning counteroffensive. This footage shows President Zelensky visiting the newly liberated areas, some of them there in the east, supporting the soldiers and the civilians. These kinds of victories are piling the pressure on President Putin, as we hear. So let us try to get some insight into how Vladimir Putin will process these losses with his former speechwriter Abbas Galyamov. And he's joining me now from Israel. Mr. Galyamov, welcome to the program. It's always so important, so interesting for us to try to figure out what's happening in Moscow. So I know that you're not a military historian or strategist, but politically, what can you describe for us how you think potentially the political tide may be shifting against Putin right now? What are you seeing from Moscow?
You should understand that Russian political system is in a real shock now. This is no exaggeration. For many years, Russians were, the regime, they were treating Ukrainians as somebody inferior. So they could never imagine that Ukrainians would be advancing and the Russian troops, those invincible troops, how they were viewing them, would have to retreat, and not just to retreat, actually to run away. And this is a real shock. Like, little by little, the Russian public opinion got acquainted to the thought that, okay, Ukrainians are not so bad. After all, they can defend themselves. They can be on the defensive, but nobody could expect that they can advance so rapidly, so professionally, and making the Russians retreat. So the whole system is in shock, and what makes the situation worse is absolutely inadequate reaction of Putin personally, because, when he is in shock himself, he behaves when he doesn't know how to act. What he's doing, he's trying to show that nothing bad is happening. So he didn't change his schedule. And unfortunately for him, for this particular day, Moscow was celebrating a city day, a holiday, a great holiday. And Putin was taking part in festive activities. They were actually making fireworks at that particular moments when his troops were defeated. So this inadequate behavior, of course, really it really irritated a lot of Russians, not just opposition. No, now I'm not talking about opposition. I'm talking about regular Russians. So I would say that Putin's image is tarnished.
Right, Mr. Galyamov, it is incredible, as you say, that scores of deputies are calling for his resignation, and many people are now questioning him publicly about, did you just get it wrong? Were you badly advised? What's happening? How do you think he will react to that? Will he try to go into negotiations? Will he address this issue? Will he call a national draft? How will he react?
Well, all the options that he has, they're really bad for him. National draft, theoretically speaking, possible, but the Russians are not willing to go to wage this war, to take part in this war. They can support, half of Russians, they do support this war, but this support is purely theoretical. They are not ready to go and sacrifice their lives, especially at the moment when the Ukrainians are advancing and Russians are retreating. So if they didn't want to go to war at the moment when they thought that it's going to be a quick blitzkrieg, well, definitely they're not going to do it now. So if Putin starts making this national draft, he really faces the danger of riots. And actually, it's not clear if his loyal, National Guards will really suppress those riots like before, because now those National Guards, they were there in Ukraine, and they were burned there by Ukrainian forces, by Ukrainian artillery. So definitely they are no longer as loyal to Putin as before. So it's not clear what he gets if he makes this national draft. Real new forces which will be fighting Ukrainians, or riots which will overthrow him. So this is a bad option. Like negotiations, definitely they are ready for this now. But who is going to negotiate with them? This is the problem. Zelensky refuses. So to start negotiations, he should really find a successor. I think the next thing which is going to happen in Russian politics within the next like several months, maybe up to half a year, is the elites will start looking for a successor, and so the political process will be going around this figure.
Abbas Galyamov, former speechwriter to Vladimir Putin, thank you very much for those insights.